Happy self-nurturing Saturday evening. So I am going to share with you something about invisibility. And I'm not talking about being visible online and those kind of things. I'm talking about in your life, in your world. As always, when I talk, I am talking from the lens of a Black woman living in America. And also because of my identity, why I self-nurture and why I invite you to choose joy and pleasure so that you savor your life. Because there's enough stuff going on, and anyone that's female-bodied knows what I'm talking about. You don't have to be Black for that. There's a lot of stuff going on out here. And if we don't self-nurture, for sure, certainly we will implode. And, we can say it's because perimenopause or whatever other physical things that may be present, and the facts are the facts. So I really enjoy spending time with my children because, first of all, having children is such a blessing because they are little reflections of me, right? As a parent, you know that. The things that irritate you most about your kids are the things that you know that you dislike and are irritating about yourself, if you're honest with yourself. So for me, having children is very humbling, very reflective, helps me to introspect, helps me to be self-aware. And being with them and, being out in the world with them, I get to experience some things. And so one of those is what is a nuance of invisibility. So as you know, I used to wear hijab because I am also Muslim, right? So my, my categories expand. I have more and more reasons to be biased and prejudiced against, right? Which also are forms of emotional abuse. And when you experience any form of emotional abuse or any form of abuse, it requires self-nurturing so that you don't, so that you can actually stabilize and maintain your nervous system and your limbic system, right? Your limbic system is what I deal with as a somatic healer. And the limbic system, if you don't know, is that one that connects your emotions to your nervous system and to your body. It's the one that we're all disconnected from, whether you fall in the category as colonizer or colonized, oppressor or oppressed. We all have a limbic system and it's all being suppressed. When I wore my hijab, I was highly visible because people were always on alert when they see one of them, right? A sand nigger is what I was before. And when I took off my hijab, the first thing I reveled in was my invisibility. I was like, no one's looking at me. No one cares. And then I realized no one's looking at me. No one cares, right? Because I went from someone who was an obvious threat to a insignificant threat, but still a threat. As I find, as my locks grow longer, I notice that my invisibility has a nuance. Now the attraction is she's a Black woman. She's a very beautiful Black woman. Not only is she beautiful, but she's attractive. Not only is she beautiful and attractive, but she has a presence to which white women who are upholders of the patriarchy, whether it's a known bias or an unknown bias, listen to this and hear yourself. Notice that this is your behavior. So my daughters are also beautiful, of course, and they are categorically women of color as they are half Black and half brown, and they have a very unique style. So when I go out with them, they look at all of us and we are not invisible, but then they look away and we become invisible. If you're a brown or black woman listening to this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so when I was out with my younger daughters recently, a woman, a white woman, looked at us all, chose my youngest daughter, and said, "She's quite a fashionista, isn't she? She is quite a fashionista." My child, while looking me straight in the eye, not acknowledging that I'm the mother of the child and we're equally dressed well. Also dismissing her sister, who's 4 years older, and starting to show signs of womanliness, right? But she dresses modestly. So she can't acknowledge us because then that would mean she's acknowledging that we have presence and that we exist. To diminish, right, what me and her older sister represent, she highlights the youngest one. And this is something that happens all the time. Now, also, women of color sometimes will do this as well because they're upholders of the patriarchy also. And then sometimes other Black women will not acknowledge any of us, right? So that's what invisibility looks like. On the flip side, sometimes there's a Black woman that will acknowledge, "I see you, queens. You're all beautiful," right? Or there'll be a brown woman who will say, "I love your outfits." Again, acknowledging from herself to another, right? Because people can only see the reflection of themselves in others. So if you want to acknowledge someone's beauty, presence, existence, value, desirability, let's be clear, then you give a compliment. And if you want to dismiss or diminish it, you just don't mention it. Therefore, that's what I'm calling invisibility. And this is why women are in the state that they are in the world right now. We use our opportunities where we could acknowledge and uplift and value another woman to diminish and dismiss. If you hear yourself in what I'm saying, this isn't the time to take offense. This is the time to look at who you're being, how you interact with other humans who are female bodied, and what's going on inside of you. Because when you don't self-nurture, and hear me very clearly, it's going to be harder for you to see and value another woman's desirability because you don't desire yourself and you don't see it in yourself. That's all. So if you've ever felt invisible, reflect on whether or not you've ever felt you've made someone else feel invisible. Because really, energy is a boomerang. What goes around comes around. And by doing that, you perpetuate this cycle that upholds the patriarchy and takes away your rights when all you have to do is nurture your own heart and soul. The title of my last book is Detached Love, Transforming Your Heart so that you can transform your mind. Nurturing is what changes the heart. I'll leave you with that. I hope that you adopt practices of self-nurturing. I have an invitation for that. Just scroll through my feed and you'll see what I'm talking about. The ultimate self-nurturing event starts on December 14th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. If that sounds of interest to you, you can reach out to me, or like I said, there's a link somewhere on my timeline. But in the meantime, I'm Cordelia Gaffar, the ultimate joy goddess, encouraging you and inviting you to choose joy and pleasure so that you savor your life. Later.